Before buying yourself a PA system, get yourself a headphone amplifier. Hey everyone, welcome to the Man of Attentive Music. If you're a starting band, I think this is going to be a pretty valuable tip for you. If you're an advanced band and you already have a PA system, it's alright as well. But here's the thing. I know there's nothing much exciting for most people for some reason about headphone amps, but believe me, learning a thing or two about mixing headphones for me and my band was a big step up from when we started to rehearse. When we started to rehearse, we were home because of the whole situation of 2020. So there wasn't much space and we certainly couldn't make noise. So instead of going for an expensive PA system, which is something that I would go normally, we ended up going for a headphone amp and an 8-channel audio interface to rehearse because we could simply go direct and not make much noise at all. I talk a little bit about that in this video right here in the card box if you want to check more about that. But even if you're not going direct, if you're miking up amps and using an acoustic live set like we have here, check this out as well, because mixing headphones is going to be really good for health overall, I would say. You're going to be able to hear yourself in a way that I've never been able to hear myself with PA systems. And that might be because I haven't worked with the most experienced guys in terms of mixing PAs for live sound. Most of the guys I worked with were studio guys, so there's that. But even if you do have a PA system that you use often with your band for a live gig or something like that, consider buying yourself a headphone amp, because the way that you monitor yourself is simply going to have much more clarity suddenly. Like, it's a big step up, and I think you have to try that yourself to really know what's going on. But man, starting to use headphones was simply the best thing that could happen to my band in terms of monitoring, and it also was quite useful in terms of keeping rehearsals like tight, so we could really hear what was going on and we could rehearse more often because hearing wasn't a problem. We weren't like always dealing with very big and loud PA systems or very big and loud amps. We could simply hear everything because the gain on the microphones was set correctly, and the headphone amp was making it possible so we could have a separate individual headphone mix for each and every member of our band, so that's my point. If you haven't checked out a headphone amp yet with a mixing board or an audio interface, do check it out. I really recommend that you do that because it's simply another world to live in. It's another world to gig, to rehearse, to record. It's amazing. You simply hear everything, and yeah, when you start to add reverb and compression into the mix, man, it just sounds beautiful. It's amazing to play live or to rehearse with such a system. And I think people don't talk about that enough. I don't really know why, or I haven't really checked that out too much, but we got to a point that mixing headphones is simply such a big part of our setup that I guess we couldn't work without that anymore. At least rehearse, in our daily basis routine as a band. That is a big part of our setup and how we play and how we gig right now. That's not to say that we're not gigging and rehearsing sometimes without the headphone amplifier, but I would say to you guys that 99% of the times we do have our headphones on. And the good thing about that is that monitoring headphones for this purpose don't need to be that expensive. So here is what me and my band use. These are KZ headphones. They are a Chinese company that produce high-end headphones, I would say. They sound really good, and like for the purpose of rehearsing and playing gigs live, in-ear headphones like this are simply amazing. They're very easy to carry around. They're kind of cheap, considerably cheap. If you're going KZ, I would say I would recommend these for live use. They've never let me down, and they are just simply very easy for you to put on your pocket or just take around anywhere you want, because they're very light. And the good thing about them is that they do isolate the sound a lot when you are recording or rehearsing. They're amazing. So no, you do not need the most high-end pair of headphones available for that. Even if you're going live, I wouldn't recommend taking expensive pair of headphones with you. Something like this is going to work just fine. It has a playing response, kind of flat. So yeah, you're going to be able to hear all instruments very well. Talking a little bit about headphone amp models right now. These are some of my favorite pieces of gear. In the market, there are many models available. The good thing is that for a few bucks, you can have yourself and your band a headphone amp to work with live and to record. And if you want something a little bit more high-endy, there is a lot of gear out there available from very popular manufacturers. So if you and your band have some spare money and you really don't know what to invest in, consider researching about mixing headphones and headphone amplifiers for your rack or for your backpack or something like that. There are units for each and every budget available, I would say. So consider taking a look at that. These are very useful pieces of gear, and they are an essential part of my band's routine now. So thanks for watching, and I do see you next time. Goodbye.